Sometimes I'm genuinely amazed how many emotions a simple game can generate. It's not life or death, right? It's not the end of the world. But still, sitting there, watching India getting knocked out. Tell me one thing. How can what is hands down the strongest lineup in the world lose so miserably? So rather than watching it further and getting frustrated, I decided to just go ahead and figure out the answer. Not through any conjectures though, but through hard numbers. This is an attempt of an heartbroken man to soothe his aching heart. This is an autopsy of a loss. Let's start from the simple question that frankly should never be asked in a World Cup. How much was the pitch at fault? Now, in the first two matches that India played, we hit a grand total of 6 sixes and only 2 wickets. But both the times, losing the toss and batting first. Till that point, out of the total 16 matches that were played, 13 were lost by the side batting first. The 3 victories that came had come against Namibia, Scotland and Bangladesh. Furthermore, the Bangladesh match was during the day when the dew factor didn't count. And that's the crux of the issue. In UAE, the dew that sets in during the night matches changes the nature of the pitch itself. It goes from being a banshee-like creature during the day into a purring kitten at night. The difference is so lopsided that Twitter was joking at a point, do the toss and just go home. There is no need to actually play the match. So is that it? It was the pitch's fault, the players were perfect? Not actually. There were issues. If you take up the T20 record for the past 5 years, then chasing, we have won 22 out of 32 games. That's a 68% win rate. However, while batting first, we again have 22 wins, but in 42 matches. That's a 53% win rate, a difference of 15% with the same lineup. An in-depth search of those losses gives us a simple fact. We tend to play very conservatively when we bat first, which has cost us before. Case in point, the semi-finals in the 2016 T20 World Cup. But let's focus on this team for now. And I would like to tell a story about it. In March, before the IPL, Virat had said that he would practice opening in this IPL so that he can open with Rohit in the World Cup. Then fast forward to the second half of the IPL where he said that he sees Ishan Kishan in that role. But just before the tournament started, he confirmed that Rahul is going to be the opener. And after the loss to Pakistan, when a journalist asked about the possibility of Ishan opening, Virat scoffed at that suggestion. Come match day, out came Ishan Kishan. Now, I do understand the strategy behind sending Ishan, but what I want to show you is the confusion in this team. Because after the squad was declared, they did not play a single game together as a team. The first match that they played together was directly the warm-up matches of the T20 tournament. Now credit for credit is due. Right before the T20 World Cup, which was originally to be played in India, in the original schedule laid out by the BCCI, there was a 5-match T20 series to be played against South Africa, where all such minor kings were to be worked out. But once COVID's second wave hit, not only was the World Cup shifted out of India, but even the IPL had to be rescheduled. Now here, it would be very easy for me to just blame the BCCI and the players for putting the IPL above the World Cup. But from March all the way up to December, the entire schedule was jam-packed with continuous foreign tours. Now the BCCI could go ahead and cancel those two. It is the BCCI. They can't do anything. But rather than risking the legal and financial complications that they would have to suffer, they decided to cancel the only home series in the slot, hedging their bets on the fact that the IPL being played on the same grounds on which T20 would be played would be the perfect opportunity for the players to get adjusted to the conditions there. The plan sounds good on paper, right? Yeah. There is just a tiny bit of a problem though. In the second half of the IPL, barring Rahul, the rest of the entire batting lineup died a miserable death. Ishan Kishan and Surya Kumar Yadav did have a good knock here and there, but beyond that, the rest of the lineup was out. Completely out. So is it really a surprise that after those first 2 World Cup matches, in spite of playing the complete quota of 20 overs, we were dead last in aggressive shots played rating and 4th behind Ireland, Papua New Guinea and Netherlands in worst time shots. The funny thing is, it's not even as if we had to send this lineup. The last day to make changes was on 15th October. That was the last day of the IPL when all the data was laid down before you. And the only change we did was replacing Akshar Patel with Shardul Thakur, which I do understand. But was that your takeaway from this data? that the bowling needs work here, not the batting. Now I know what all of you are gonna say. If they were really so bad, then how do you explain the sheer demolition of Afghanistan, Scotland and Namibia? And for that, I would like to repeat the answer given by nearly each and every cricket analyst out there right now. Mentality and pressure. But let me prove this with actual data. First, you cannot compare a World Cup with any other tournament. Not the IPL, nor any other series. Given how strong our lineup has been for the past decade, we have more often than not been the favourites to win the World Cup. Hence, the expectations have been through the roof. But in this team, by the time this World Cup rolled around, only 2 people had actually experienced the burden of those expectations in a final and then had come out on top. That's Virat and Rohit. For the rest of the lineup, even starting from 2015, we have lost each and every knockout match that we have ever played, all except a match against Bangladesh, where Rohit and Virat had actually carried us to a win. So, this team either had players who had never experienced such pressure before or have been burdened by repeated losses under that same pressure. To add a cherry on top, the first match was against Pakistan. It's a well-known fact, isn't it? It's fine if you lose the World Cup, but you cannot lose a match against Pakistan. And after that, we had a virtual knockout match against New Zealand. That means the pressure of being knocked out in the group stages itself and the storm that it will bring. An actual good comparison to this is the 3 consecutive World Cup wins from Australia, which were won over a period of 9 years. You can see through the chart here that each and every time they had 5 to 6 players who had actually won before in the lineup, who could handle the pressure of a must-win situation. And I believe that was the same idea for which Dhoni had been sent here, to be that pillar for the younger guys. But a mentor in the end is just that, a mentor. He had no real say, nor could he take the field. And mental strength is not something that you can just generate in a few days. It's a process, practiced and mastered over a period of time. Now there are other factors here too, no doubt. Packed schedule, biobubble fatigue, but I can't quantify its exact effect. Hence, this is my answer. We lost because we had an undercooked, out-of-form team, which was put into an inordinate amount of pressure, which could have still been fine, if not for the pitch. And that's why we lost. But going through these numbers, I realized something. It's not all bad. It's a fact that we have had the best win rate by any team in any format for the past decade. It's also a fact that in the past year, we have conquered bastion after bastion that were deemed impossible in the past. And it is also a fact that most of the time, people don't learn till they get a good kick in their... So, there is a World Cup next year. This time under Rahul Dravid with a team that has already gone through the worst outcome that there can be. And with a board that may be slow to move. But when it does move, I just tend to remember another World Cup that we had lost in the group stages. And what happened after. Till then, let's brush ourselves up. Let's get back into the saddle. Our team will need us soon. Hope you have a good day today. And I hope your dreams and mine come true next year. Thank you for watching this video.